Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is another dose of your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. So an elderly man stabbed two police officers who showed up on the scene after reports of him trying to light his neighbor's door on fire. So they say the man was arrested in Olympia, Washington on Thursday evening after stabbing two officers and lighting his neighbor's door on fire, according to police reports. Olympia Police Department tweeted that while attempting to arrest a suspect for lighting his neighbor's door on fire, the suspect stabbed two officers at the scene. Now, the officers arrived at the scene at 5:20 p.m., and then the incident took place in the 1300 block of Fern Street Southwest near Olympia Auto Mall. Lieutenant Paul Lower said told the Olympian that the Olympia Police Department had received multiple 911 calls about the fire that was lit by the suspect. Now, when police arrived at the scene, the fire had been put out and the suspect was retreating to his apartment. Officers tried to talk to the suspect with the aid of a designated crisis responder and finally entered the apartment after obtaining a search warrant. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. They don't show the person. I haven't been able to find any pictures of them or whatever, but I do believe that this person was Caucasian. And the main reason I believe so is because, first of all, he stabbed two cops, not one, and he's not dead. Also, because they say that he retreated into his apartment and the police went to get a search warrant. Now, I'm sorry, but when it's Black people involved, they usually don't bother to get a search warrant. I've seen the police go knock on a Black person's door and then just help themselves, invite themselves on in. If the person tried to shut the door, put their foot in the way, the police officer would just push past them and come right on in. So if they went to go get a warrant and trying to actually do things in the order, or by policy or law, well, then it's usually a Caucasian that they're doing this for because they don't give Black people that luxury or benefit most often. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and show the news report about this whole thing. Oh, so crazy. Hold on. Likes up. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance.
Two Olympia police officers are out of the hospital after being stabbed by a man in his 70s last night.
Yeah, one officer shot the suspect. That suspect was airlifted to the hospital. Let's get to Kira Alfalin live in Olympia this morning near this apartment complex. Kira, can you tell us more about what led up to all this?
Yeah, so those two officers were responding to an arson at the Fern Ridge Apartments here in Olympia. So this is where they found a man in his 70s had set a fire right outside of his apartment complex. Now here on the scene, they are clearing things up. They took down the tape. The fire department is now here to help clean up the scene. But we do want to show you some video now of what this first looked like when our crews first arrived. After the fire was put out, police tried to talk to the man, who responded by using pepper spray on the officers. Police then backed away, got a search warrant, and called for a designated crisis responder to help with the situation, but he refused to speak to anyone. Police then had probable cause to enter his home and make an arrest since he had assaulted officers with pepper spray. But when they went inside, they were ambushed and stabbed. That's when an officer shot the man. And this all comes as police in Western Washington reel from the recent deaths of 3 officers in less than 2 weeks.
Certainly, this is very concerning for us as law enforcement officers. We come out here every day to do our job, and, we do it to the best of our ability, and it is a dangerous job.
Again, after those officers were stabbed, a police officer did shoot the man and he was taken to an area hospital. Those 2 officers were also taken to hospitals, but they have since been released. Live here in Olympia, Kira Alfalin.
The suspect ambushed and stabbed 2 officers who are recovering this morning. Camera 7's Lauren Donovan is outside St. Joseph Medical Center in Tacoma, where the suspect was taken in critical condition.
They were taken by helicopter from the fields at Capitol High School in Olympia last night. And Lacey police say this man is in his 70s and he was trying to set his neighbor's door on fire. And that's why they showed up to the neighborhood. Authorities tell us when officers tried to talk with him, he became combative and pepper sprayed them. He ran into his apartment and refused to come out. They say as soon as officers got inside that apartment, the man stabbed them. Police then shot him. And for the law enforcement community here in the Puget Sound area, this news, this violence involving officers, it comes on the heels of a couple heartbreaking weeks.
This is very concerning for us as law enforcement officers. We come out here every day to do our job, and we do it to the best of our ability. And it is a dangerous job, but we just try to do it the best that we can.
This is an officer-involved shooting, and so the Capital Metro Independent Investigative Team has stepped in to conduct an independent investigation. That's going to be law enforcement not from Olympia PD, but from Lacey, Tumwater, and Yelm. As for those two Olympia police officers who were stabbed, they were taken to the hospital. Their injuries, though, are non-life-threatening. We're reporting in Tacoma.
So as you can see, the suspect is shot, but they're still fine. They're in the hospital recovering, okay, at the end of the day. So clearly, I don't think that person was black. I mean, anytime I've seen the police get stabbed or shot or anything like that, hit or punched, whatever, it's usually a white person that does it when they're still brought into custody alive and kicking. That's all I'm saying, honey. But they fear for their lives when it's an unarmed black person. But somebody can stab two of you. And I want you to pay attention, because this man didn't stab just one of them. He stabbed two of them. So if he stabbed two of them, you have to ask yourselves, what were the other cops doing while he stabbed the first one? Clearly, they were trying to negotiate with him. Put it down. Stop. No, don't make us do it. All of that kind of BS like they do whenever it's a white person. And that's usually what they do. And that's probably exactly what was going on. They gave him enough time to stab the other cop. I mean, remember the young white male who stabbed the cop in the neck and then took off running? Now, he'd already been running. The cop never shot him in his back. He simply chased him. And when he caught up to him, the guy pulls out a knife and stabs him in the throat and takes off running again. The cop is still chasing him, doesn't shoot. He finally tases him. Okay, so when they're telling you that they killed a black person, shot them numerous times because they fear for their lives, and the person is in fact unarmed, that's just all a load of BS. And we all know that by now. If you don't, something's clearly wrong with you. Even the racist devils can't deny it. Okay, so woman accused of stealing a car. Now, this is one of the world's dumbest criminals, obviously. Woman accused of stealing a car to spring boyfriend from Louisiana jail. Make it all make sense. And so a Louisiana woman attempting to gain her boyfriend's freedom slipped up and found herself behind bars instead. Alana Cole, 21 years old of Houma, is accused of stealing the car that she drove to bond her boyfriend out of a Grant Parish jail, according to reports. And now, according to deputies with the Grant Parish Sheriff's Office, Cole admitted that she stole the vehicle. She's been charged with illegal possession of stolen things. I mean, how dumb could you be? I'm just wondering. And let me just show you a picture of this idiot. Louisiana woman attempting to gain her boyfriend's freedom slipped up and found herself behind bars instead. There she is, 21 years old. She looks a little rough in the face, a little rough around the edges to be just 21, if you ask me. So, going to bond him out of jail, but committing a crime in the process. How stupid can you be? Now they're both in jail. Now they are both in jail, honey. All so stupid and clearly nefarious. Let me pull up this other story real quick. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel. Now listen to this. And so a woman has been charged with first-degree murder after her boyfriend was killed during a robbery in Chicago. Akaya Sims, who's 20 years old, was arrested in Indianapolis on Monday in connection with the death of her boyfriend, Olayer Jones, 19 years old. Now, it goes on to say that Sims was then transferred to Chicago, where she was charged with Jones's murder. She appeared in a bond court on Wednesday, where she was ordered to be held without bail. So prior to Sims's arrest, Dion Evans, age 19, had been charged as one of the gunmen who shot at Jones while the latter sat inside the car with Sims in the 900 block of South Normal Avenue, according to Fox 32. Now, prosecutors said Evans had arranged with a friend to have Sims and Jones come over to their home and have Sims walk out the back with Jones's gold chain. But when Jones and Sims drove to the home, another friend warned them about the plan and told them to leave. Now, when Jones drove away, prosecutors said he stopped at Normal Avenue where a white SUV pulled up, and Evans and another person allegedly fired several shots at his vehicle. Several bullets struck Jones, and he was ultimately taken to Christ Medical Center in critical condition and died of his injuries. Sims, who has a child with Evans, allegedly got into the white SUV. She suffered a bullet wound to her leg during the shooting, according to prosecutors. Now, Evans later took Sims to her home in Indianapolis and then to a hospital where she told a witness the plan had been to rob Jones, but that it changed. And this is what the prosecutors are now saying. Following Evans's arrest, police found the gold chain and the white SUV that was registered to his mother's name. But a Chicago Police Department news release said Sims was identified as the offender, who on January the 21st of 2022, in the 900 block of S Normal Avenue, shot a 19-year-old male multiple times, causing his death. Sims has since been charged with first-degree murder, according to Gun Violence Archives, a database that collects information about shootings from across the U.S. 109 people have been shot dead in Chicago since January the 1st. So that's still Chirac. And so they say Newsweek has reported on numerous cases where people have shot their partners for a host of reasons. Brooke Lynn Link of Pennsylvania was charged with murder and abuse of a corpse after she allegedly shot her boyfriend in the head on March the 13th. An Allegheny County Police Department complaints read, she said that he was still breathing and reaching for her, so she shot him 2 more times. So he wasn't dead, so I'm going to make sure he's dead, is what she was likely thinking. Link said she panicked and then dumped his body in the alley in McKee Rocks. And this is the lady right here, Akaya Sims, who's been charged with her boyfriend's murder. And all of this because someone wanted to take the man's gold chain. Like, these people seriously have no, regard for human lives. They are more concerned about material things. Money and jewelry, fancy cars, just all kind of stupid BS. What is wrong with these thugs, honey? And who is raising them? I mean, even the women are out here engaging in all this crime. Things that you only used to hear about men doing. But now you're hearing women engaging in these types of practices as well. Honey, I hope all of them get exactly what they deserve. They are nothing but menaces to the Black community and just out here doing all this crazy stuff. And a lot of Black people won't even report it, won't talk, don't want to say anything, talking about no snitching. We need to get these people behind bars and get them out of our communities and out of our neighborhoods, attacking and brutalizing the elderly, victimizing the young and all of those things, the disabled. This is what these devils do. It's all so crazy. And you're going to set up somebody to get them killed all over a gold chain? Like, really? And it's more than one person involved in this, mind you. So just how much cash did they expect to get? Were they going to pawn it and try to split the money? I'm just saying it's all so stupid. But like I said, these are the things that people do. Anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, and I hope to see you all in the next chat. Peace.